Green Lantern Corps number 26, written by Robert Venditti and Van Jensen, art by Bernard Chang. So, I mean, last issue was a whole 0 year tie-in, and before that it was other stuff. Like, there's been a lot of stuff going on. This issue is more or less just able to be picked up on where post Lights Out, post Relic and all that, the Green Lantern Corps is just sitting, waiting on Mogo, and we see John and his little crew of rookies are like, okay, we sent off that like hospital wing, the Citadel, in order to save a bunch of people. They should have been here by now. What's going on? And as they look up, they see, a big ball of light, a fiery like thing coming down, and they realize, oh, that's the Citadel. And also, oops, it's coming in hot. So a bunch of Green Lanterns fly up and they give it all they can with their rings. And eventually Mogo speaks out, just being like, dudes, hey, I can control the gravity field of my own planet. It's good. And he guides it into a spot and, allows it to sit down. And John immediately is inside of the Citadel calling out for Yura, the Star Sapphire that he's in love with, dating, I don't know. And they share a kiss. So at that point, they step apart and Yura gets the rundown on everything that happened. And we get the other Green Lanterns who, over in the main Green Lantern book, have sworn off using their rings anymore because they don't want to waste the light. And they try to convince John. They're like, hey, John, you were really, really pushing with your Green Lantern ring to like stop the Citadel from falling. Have you ever considered not using your light like that? And he's like, I was going to use it to save them. That was definitely going to happen. And he's just like, right. But like, you don't have to. You can just use other things instead. And he's just like, look, guys, we have to use our rings to save lives. Like, that's the end of it. That's going to happen. And at this point, Hal steps in and just being like, look, regardless of what's going on, we don't have time to fight each other. We are still part of a Corps. That's important here. And we see that there is a problem going on Druk's planet, one of the rookies. And apparently what is their name? I don't know. I'll get to it eventually. They are the Khund. That's it. The Khund are essentially offering their protection to Druk's planet as well. And Druk is like, my planet wouldn't take protection. They're strong in their own right. They would never. And it's just like, well, then we need you to go there and tell them to turn it down, because if we have more people falling to the Khund, then Green Lanterns are going to become hunted pretty much. So John takes Hal aside and is just like, hey, we need to have a talk. We haven't been able to really talk about the things that have gone on since you've been leader. So we cut over to Druk's planet called Oranx, and we see that one of their strong leader type guys named Vrokul is killed and replaced by a Durlin. And the Durlin comes out and is just like, yes, let's head out there. The fight is about to begin. And Druk explains to the other Green Lantern rookies that are with him that the way the Druk's planet, their species, does diplomacy, does like politics, is fight to the death. Whoever is the strongest, their opinion will be the one that is listened to. So and at that point, one of the other rookies calls him out and just be like, wait a minute, hold on. You're a politician on your planet? And he's like, no. You need to win 20 fights in like the pit in order to become what's considered a politician. I've won 18 and then the ring pulled me out, and therefore I'm no longer in candidacy to become that. So Druk lands and he says like, oh yeah, hey, don't go with the Khund, whatever. And they start immediately tearing them apart. He's like, you're not a warrior anymore. You got that fancy ring. And also you're missing an arm. Like, what kind of warrior are you? And one of the rookies stands up for him, just being like, he saved so many lanterns. That's why he's missing an arm. And Druk's like, don't you fight on my behalf. I don't need you. And so the other lantern flies off in a huff. So at that point, the gladiator fight starts. And we see it gets down to the final two. The Green Lanterns are sitting back. They're letting whatever's going to happen. Until finally, the one that has the opinion that they don't join the Khund, or maybe the one that does join the Khund, I'm not really sure. Regardless, gets a shot through the head with a green light. And everyone looks up and they see the one rookie who stood apart. She's like just floating there. And she flies away, she runs. And as she runs down the stairs, everyone gives chase. And we see that she comes across a copy of herself. And it turns out her name is Fesca. Fesca was copied by a Durlin, and the Durlin has framed her for murder. So at that point, we see the Durlin transform into Vrokul, and Vrokul's like, I have her. She's right here. We can do what we need to. Let's take her out in the pit and execute her. And then the other rookies, including Druk, they're like, no, that's a Green Lantern. We can't let that happen. And so Druk goes out and he starts fighting against his own people, and they keep calling him weak. And he just makes a Green Lantern construct of another arm and just starts pounding them down. And he's like, hey, Ring, what caused that wound on the warrior? Was it a Green Lantern ring? And the ring says negative. It was a laser point. It wasn't actually a Green Lantern ring. It's like, there, see? Green Lanterns don't kill. And it's just like, okay, as if we would believe the Lantern Corps investigating one of their own. Screw you, we're going with the Khund. And they banish Druk from his home. So that's the gist of that one. Meanwhile, intercut with all that, we have Hal talking to John, and John is basically chewing him out, being like, you sent Guy, I want to say Kyle, you sent Guy to the Red Lantern planet to become a Red Lantern. Now there's no more Blue Lantern Corps, and we're not going to be able to change him back. Like, and now you're saying you're declaring war on all of the other corps while he's embedded there? What the hell is wrong with you? And he basically throws a punch and knocks Hal on his ass and just be like, I should put you in chains and put you away because you are so irresponsible here. You shouldn't be the one running the Corps. And he's like, yeah, you're right. This is the responsibility that was shafted upon me by the Guardians. I'm the one who's doing this because I was told I have to. And he says that the place that they're currently talking is the place where Sinestro killed all the other Guardians. And John's like, I didn't realize that's where. He's like, yeah, no. Like, this is where it happened. And John comes to the conclusion. He's like, look, I'm just mad at everything that's happened. I'm sorry. I'm taking that on you. And he's like, hey, don't worry about it. I get it. I probably deserve a punch to the face after everything that's happened. But I need you around because we need someone to build back up what was Oa here on Mogo. We need an architect in order to control all this. So we see John is talking to Yira and basically planning it all out. He's got the whole city planned, and he talks to Mogo and it's like, hey, Mogo, do you think you can handle such not actually microscopic, but microscopic to you things? And he's just like, I mean, I've never messed with it that much, but yeah, I can terraform myself pretty well. And he follows all of John's plans, and we see the new city for the Green Lanterns is built on Mogo. And as John is in the barracks at the end of a long day, he's making out with Yira and just saying, hey, look, I thought that you wanted me to leave the Corps, but I can't now. And she's like, I don't want you to anymore. Your dedication is what's so inspiring about you. So yeah, I'll stay with you here on Mogo. And that's where we see down in the bottom of the planet, navigating through some of the tunnels, is a Durlin who has made his way into a deeper part where there's a whole bunch of other Durlins, and saying, yes, we have rejoined the Corps on Mogo. We're ready to enact the final part of our plan. We will rid the universe of Green Lanterns. So yeah, a lot going on. I like the idea. I like the plot that's going on with the Durlins and this idea of a group that is dedicated to basically engineering the downfall of the Green Lanterns. And obviously a good way to explore that is they're not doing it through killing off the Green Lanterns. They're doing it politically. They're setting up these sabotage things. I like the idea of that. What I'm not such a fan of is the fact that we are solely focused on these rookies as they're going about. It's just, I don't know. I feel like John should at least be accompanying them at the minimum, or at least we get some Lanterns that we're more familiar with. Kilowog or something like that. Scalix. Any of that stuff would have been great. The fact that it does follow these rookies that I'm not that familiar with and makes them our only point of view, I don't know. While the story itself is still good, I feel like we could have had a better lens to view it through. But overall, I am still enjoying it. So I'll go ahead and say this one is I'll give it a 7.5. It's a quality comic. Don't really have much of a problem with it, but it's just a shy little hair away from being a great comic. So yeah, 7.5. I am looking forward to seeing the next one.